For the benefit of the taxpayers, the SVDP, the Special Voluntary Disclosure Program, it is a good window, yeah, is actually is a very good window for you to rectify a lot of things, I would say, so
Come
if
clean,
yeah,
like a baby.
yeah, we call it whitewash, right? Whitewash the whole process, right? Of course, at the moment, we don't have the guideline. Actually, before the session starts, myself and Puan Wan, we actually having a chat. Definitely when that guidelines come, I will be contacting Hasil again, wanted to provide another session of this sort to actually feed the information to everyone. Because I think the responsibility to pay tax is something that we got to, it is everyone's responsibility, to ensure that we actually have a fair competitions in business, right? So ladies and gentlemen, if I may, for that questions, right, if I may just give a little bit of advice, right? I think 2022 income, if you have never reported it before, you should report it now. And then finger crossed for your long lasting life, okay? That when June the 1st starts on SVDV, please look into the prior years at the same time. I think if I may, give a little bit of this, yeah. So, okay, I wanted to pick questions that is actually from the earlier chat room. I'm just going to pick one of this question from the earlier chat room that talks about, which one was it? Let me see. There is one thing that talks about the illegal income, something like that. Yeah. So so basically it talks about I think those, okay, I can't find the questions now, but the questions is towards the thing of like, okay, illegal income, if I have any, I got to report my tax, but what about my expenses? When come to those, if I have so-called illegal expenses, but I got to actually use it, right? How would the lembaga see that expenditure being part of calculating to my taxable income? Not sure whether Puan Wan will be able to take on that questions, the deductibility. No problem.
Okay, for illegal businesses, right, when we mention for tax purposes, whether it's illegal or legal in Malaysia, it's all taxable. Okay, and as for expenses, we refer back to our Income Tax Act under Section 33(1). The question is to be decide whether the expenditure is outgoing expenses, whether it's wholly and exclusively incurred in the making of the income, and whether it's in the production of the income. So it falls back in our act, where you would need to ascertain whether the expenses is wholly and exclusively incurred in the production of income and does not fall in the restriction of Section 39. So as I had shared previously with you, there are ways for our auditors and investigators to tax taxpayer under the shadow economy, and especially taxpayers who do not have proper bookkeeping. So there are audit techniques and tools that being used, information that we receive from third party or other government agencies. There are various ways that can be computed, but at the end, as we are always emphasize on our auditors, is to make sure that the income being taxed are reasonable and just. Okay, according to the trend, according to the industry, and according to our tax rules, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, if I may just add on a little bit to that as well, right? Puan Wan and I, we actually shared the platform also talking about this shadow economy. And I remember that one of our lawyer panel, right? He asked a very interesting question. He says, hey, some of these expenditures, right? Like for example, I'm in logistics, okay? I got to send the product from point A to point B. I remember this story very well. From point A to point B. So I got two choices. One is I'm a law or binding, I don't speed on the road, Okay, I don't speed on the road. I drive in accordance with it, but I may need to have more workers. Okay, one way. Another way is I ask my driver just to speed, wow, just to run, ram, and then I will have a speed tickets. Okay, but I will actually have certain cost savings. So it is my business strategies to actually do it. So it's all those saman ticket, whether it is a deductible expenses, right? I remember our during our panels with Chartered Tax Institute of Malaysia, where I shared the same platform with One. We had that very interesting question that was actually pop up. For ladies and gentlemen, just for your informations, right? All of this, right, will actually have to dealt through tax audit processes with the tax audit officer, right? You got to explain your case on why do you think is actually an expenditure that under 33.1, right? So 33.1 makes it very, very clear that, is it incurred in the production of income? But then again, right, the 39 tells you that it's a certain compound, etc. It is actually not. So how do you argue your case through? Is actually very important. There is no a straightforward answer to talk about illegal expenses per se, right? But then it's really case to case basis. One, for your information, we have one very interesting case ourselves. Okay, our client, they actually have dog food, in their expenditure. So obviously, Lembaga has to add back dog food. Okay. Then, dog food, because these are private under 39, right? One look is that, but the taxpayer say, hey, look, I don't keep as many security guard in my factory, but I keep dogs. So dogs is a better security guard as my, so that appeal, it was so interesting. But at the end of it, right, the Lembaga Hasil do not disagree with the fact that the dog can replace the role of a security guard, but it says that, there are certain things need to be fulfilled in order for it to be deductible. So ladies and gentlemen, so the expenditure part, right, it was a totally different jurisdictions and discussion matter as the income, right? So income, whether legal or not legal, is taxable, okay? But whereas when it comes to the expenditure, it's under different sections. So I mean, just to highlight on that. And then I just wanted to pick up questions from for one as well. There is this questions coming from Soren Singh. Yeah, I'm handpicking here and there, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have to pay tax when we invest in unit trust using KWSP savings? I find this question is an interesting one. Yeah, Puan, would you be able to answer those?
Could I rephrase it? The question is,
do I have to pay tax when we invest in unit trust using KWSP savings?
Okay. So unit trust is actually investment, right? And it's for individuals, it's not taxable unless it's a business per se, because the money that you have kept in your EPF is actually from your salary, which has already been declared and taxed. Unless you invest a certain money and become an investor, that will be another story.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm picking and choosing from the chat room. You know why? Some of the questions maybe is more of a tax consultant's questions. Yeah. Some maybe I can actually pass it to the officer. So you see that, like I said, I may need to deal with all these other questions separately. Yeah, with everyone there who put 333 onto the chat room, so that we had another sessions to actually clear some of your questions. Now, there is another questions that I believe Hasil will be able to answer. Is actually from Henry Chong. How can I know LHDN has assigned a TIN number for me, as they don't have my email, neither do they have my phone number?
But then how do I know?
How do I know Hasil has assigned a TIN number, yeah, for me, as they do not have my email, neither do they have my phone number?
Okay, we gather information from the Department of Registration. So this information are all collected and automatically registered through our system. So taxpayer could access our My Tax portal, where you can check your TIN number. Okay, however, if there are glitches in the technology and there are no TIN number in your MyTax portal, you can always come over to our branch and register through our e-Daftar as well.
Okay.
But the
All right.
information is ready in MyTax.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may not realize, Hasil is actually assigned this My Tax portal. Yeah. So actually, you can check yourself, right?
Right.
So, you know, it's just like the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of thing. Before you think that you are undercover, Hasil already assigned something to you already. So you don't have to worry that Hasil don't have your contact detail. They may already given to you through their big data information, their screen through, and knowing that you are somebody that who need to actually being assigned, right? So how to actually find out whether you are already having a My Tax portal and then your TIN number, you can also contact our staff, all right? And then we'll be able to assist you forward, or you can directly contact Hasil to find out more as well.